In the far corners of California, where gravel roads fall away into alder and shadow, we descend towards a ribbon of water called Bluff Creek. For me, this is a first arrival. I step into a landscape I've carried in my head since childhood. A sandbar, a line of trees, the open corridor where a figure once crossed in measured strides. Thomas returns for the third time, but it's been 20 years, an exile finally ending. With him walk Tate and Glenn, each carrying provisions, cameras, and the quiet hope that all expeditions require. What we find there is not neglect, but caretaking. The Bluff Creek Project, those patient custodians, have brushed back the chaos of seasons, walked and rewalked the distances, tended the vantage and the line of sight so that memory does not collapse into undergrowth. Their work is humble and exacting, and we owe them our thanks. Without such hands, the discussion would be swallowed by the forest's slow appetite. Ooh. It's nice down here. And
it just goes to show it's not like what you see on TV.
Or what people post in Facebook groups, how every time they go out they have a Sasquatch encounter.
Yeah, I'm just like, I roll my eyes and I'm like,
yeah.
You know what's funny I think about this? It's like, we roll our eyes at people who like, I saw Bigfoot every day, you know, but we also believe in Bigfoot too.
Yeah, I know, huh?
It's like, it's so weird.
It's almost like, but we also realize that there's such a...
We're rational thinkers.
Yeah, and we realize that there's a huge void in this subject where people can come in and just create whatever they want.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, we're at the mindset, it's like, okay, these things have not been proven real, so we can't really say that they're a real creature, or we have theories, you know, like there's different theories on what they might do.
Yeah, hypothesis.
And to exploit those theories for interaction or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, just critical thinking in how we do our research out here, and you're the same way, and Thomas and Glenn and everybody here. And that's the way to do it until it's proven real or not real. That's my opinion.
Yeah. All right, you got the bat boxes down here, and this is the trail that the Bluff Creek Project created back to the film site versus having to follow the river. Thomas and Tate and Glenn right now.
No problem, sir. It's cold.
I'll wake you up.
Oh yeah.
They are slippery rocks. Woo!
You know what Robert does? Dude, Robert's insane. Robert and Rowdy don't wear like trick shoes or like Crocs. If they're wearing those down here, I'm like, dude. They're wearing these.
It's croc country.
Hard to believe Bobo walks that tornado with flip flops.
It's doable. Why, thank you, sir. Personal tree service on the way to the PG film, courtesy of Tate Hieronymus.
For all your tree removal needs, contact me at 1-800-TREE.
It's a little higher than it was at 67.
Oh, wow. So you got Bluff Creek right here. Cruising down and around this way.
This is the original height of the sandbar.
Yeah.
That's all been eroded away over the years. So this is where it was at. Down there, it used to be flat like this, that way.
Right.
Oh, hey.
From what I know, this is...
These stones supposed to be where Roger Patterson stood.
I believe this is where Roger stood when he got framed 352.
Yeah. Okay. Introduce
And so-
yourself. Introduce yourself and tell us what you're doing.
Oh, I'm Jamie Wayne, and this here's the Patterson Gimlin Bigfoot film site, and this is Patty's Pathway. And Roger was standing just a little bit behind you guys. And when they spotted the Bigfoot, she was over here, kind of crouched down by the creek. And the root ball's right over there that Bob Gimlin describes, her crouching down by the root ball. And they scared her, and he hopped off his horse and got the camera going. By the time he got the camera going, she was kind of right here already, and she was doing this fast walk. And I am 6'2" plus, and she's doing this fast walk, and right around here, she turns around and looks behind her, right at the camera. And then she just goes forward.
And she walked out of our life forever.
352, and I'm looking back towards Glenn. See him standing there, a little brown backpack. That's Roger Patterson's position when he first stopped advancing and knelt to film the creature. Patty went that way and took a few more steps. Roger shifted his position and walked right up to that log in 352.
Now that's
Which
where
I
you're
think
standing.
is in this area right here.
Have you stood in this place before?
Hmm?
Have you stood in this place before?
Oh yeah, but there was a lot more trees.
Yeah.
In 2003, this was, all these trees were just as tall, and all the little trees were still here. It was all ferns. They cleaned this right out. They did a great job.
So this is where it all happened.
See, the flags are marking the event. These flags are marking the course?
I think she went around this way, kind of
Yeah.
around that way.
Okay, we're standing at the spot of the Patterson Gimlin film of October 20th, 1967. In 1967, this area looked quite different. That's Bluff Creek down there. The opposite bank was basically clear of trees because parts of the old logging road were right almost along the river bank. Roger and Bob were coming down on horseback. They had 3 horses, each man riding one and one pack horse, a small white pack horse. Bob Gibbon was riding a regular sized horse. Roger Patterson was riding a horse he called Peanuts, probably a Welsh pony, because Roger Patterson was a very small man, 5 feet 2 inches tall, and the importance of that factor will come in very quickly. As the men were coming around the bend, there was an old root system of an overturned tree, and as they came around, they didn't notice anything, but the horses did, and the horses started to panic. And that's when they first noticed, at least according to Bob, this figure start to move away in this direction, directly away from him. Roger Patterson grabbed the camera out of his saddlebag and let the horse go. Gimlin had to let the pack horse go, but he managed to keep his mount, and he crossed further down. The creature came through this area, and Roger Patterson, being only 5 feet 2 inches tall, was filming as he was running. And because he was so much shorter than both banks of the creek, what you think is images of the ground is actually the high creek bank, because he couldn't see over it. And as he came up right in this area, which was a little further, it's been eroded away since then, he went around what was known as the S stick as Patty walked away on this direction, and that platform in stone marks the position he was when he stopped and steadied his camera and got those famous images up to 352. Patty was walking through this area, sort of on an angle, trying to keep debris between itself and the 2 men. I think it was somewhere around here she stepped on a piece of wood that was later picked up by Rennie the Henman. And it was right around here, and you have 352, where she turned and gave the look back. Right in this spot. And Roger, of course, is still in his original position. If you look back there, you'll see the brown backpack where he was. And of course, these trees were not here at the time, most of them, but these larger ones slightly were, because they were those tree islands, little batches of trees that the creature seemed to be trying to put between itself and the 2 men, and of course the 2 logs. And after that, she continued to walk in this direction. People think she's walking away. She's actually walking back towards the creek. And she will re-enter the creek just before an area we call the bowling alley. Now Roger, losing sight of her in the debris field, shifted his position. And he moved forward, and that big log you see in 352, he was either straddling it or standing right on it. And he kept filming Patty as she walked away in this direction, and kept filming and kept going until the film ran out.
All right, and so we're standing in the walkway, and how was it determined that this was the actual walkway that
Well,
Patty
the
walked
walkway
on?
was visible for many, many months after the actual filming. It was still here 10 days or 9 days later when Robert Titmus came up and cast 10 of the tracks in a row. It was still here a year later when John Green came up, the late John Green came up with Jim McLaren and did a reenactment with a different camera and everything. But a lot of people think, why didn't she just walk towards the trees that were so close by? Well, look, you can see the big tree right there. It's not that close.
Yeah, that's actually one of my things was. It's like,
Yeah.
why didn't she just walk in the forest?
I think she was trying to keep this debris stuff between herself and the two men.
Yeah.
Logically. And the look back, this is only my personal opinion, but I don't think she was looking back at Roger at all. I think she was looking at Gimlin, who was still on his horse.
Now, there's some markers back here that's been used to determine that.
Yeah. These markers are for stumps that you see in the footage, and they are still here. It took a lot of work from the Bluff Creek Project boys to get all this exposed.
Big shout out to
When I
them.
came here in 2003, this place was such like a tiger jungle. It was kind of hard to determine what was what. And the only thing I really recognized was the big tree. In 1983, the first time I was here, was quite a bit easier because all this new growth was only like 3-4 feet high. So it was still recognizable, barely. Okay, but you see these stumps here, they're all the twins, that, a famous one we call Smiley Stump, who really isn't smiling much anymore, because on the film it looks like he's got a smiley face on it. Matter of fact, some of the earlier photos of the Bluff Creek Project still look at a smiley face on it. It almost looks like someone's bashed the hell out of it since then.
But this stump here was one of the main markers to help triangulate the way she walked, distance,
Yeah.
everything.
And that one there, and of course the big tree that stands out prominently in tree 52. And it's a large tree and it's still here. It's filled with woodpecker holes.
Are
In
those
1983, I actually nailed one of Rene DeHinden's tobacco tin tops to the tree to sort of a marker. So it was becoming, because I was afraid we might lose track of it, because the forest was starting to regrow very fast.
and at that time, nobody was really maintaining this area.
No, not at all.
The
Matter of
Bluff
fact, in
Creek-
2003, it was a tiger jungle.
So big shout out to the
Yeah.
Bluff Creek Project for their years of hard work of help
Absolutely.
restoring this historic site. You know.
Absolutely, and they did a tremendous job. My hat's off to them. But as far as I can tell, the little tin that I nailed in 1983 is no longer there. But hey, it's been 42 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is it though. This is your third time, huh?
Yeah, this is my third trip here, and will probably be my last, because quite frankly, the hike to get down here and to get back to where we park our cars is going to kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But at least, Tate's doing a good job documenting it, doing a LiDAR and, recording it, and, nothing like coming back in 20-year periods to see how it's changed.
So anyone interested in coming to this site, I encourage them to do so. But don't think you're going to be in Willow Creek, be able to come out here and be back by lunchtime. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. It's an all-day thing. And you'll probably want to come early in the morning to guarantee you can get back before dark. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of windy roads here, especially back here. The thing is, man, we're pretty far back. We're really far back, which kind of goes against that the whole thing was a hoax, because like we talked about before, it seems like they can easily have done that in Cougar, Washington, because the activity was reported up there and just as good as any. But,
Well, you look at it this way. This area is famous because of the film.
I think that was Tate.
Yeah, but when you think about it, we know of a possibility of one Sasquatch being seen here 58 years ago. Yet where we're camping at camp, there's about a dozen recorded sightings in that area. So really, the Patterson Gimlin film, we only know of one.
Yeah. So where the action at is at Lowe's Camp, and
yeah, Lowe's Camp. There's been all kinds of reports dating back even before the Patterson Gimlin film. Yeah.
I can see why.
Yeah, but it was much easier to get here back then because big parts of the old road built right along the banks of Bluff Creek still existed. The Jerry Crew Road that they built in the mid-1950s. Hardly any trace of it left now.
That's what nature
Hell,
does.
there's no trace of it left in 2003. Yeah.
Nature does what it does, reclaims it. So what do you think, though, after your third time back? What do you think of the area? Still
Gorgeous.
Still bring wonders.
Still
Butterflies.
bring one. I would love to be able to get a time machine, come back to that date to find out what really happened.
Yeah.
But all these people who've been at the wrong places all through the years, it's hard. It wasn't that hard a mystery. I mean, the forest, it's almost like someone throws a switch and it just regrows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was only a clearing then because of a flood in 1964, a massive one.
Mm-hmm.
Cleared everything out. There hasn't been one like that since. There have been a few smaller ones. The creek has changed course. Much of the bank has been eroded away. I mean, the spot where Roger Patterson was standing, we now have a little dot going out and marking the spot where he actually stood. That was land back then. It's gone now. Yeah.
Yeah. So how far did Patty walk this way?
Well, she went towards, she was heading, actually walking towards the creek. And according to Titmus and of course Gimlin, they thought that the creature had crossed the creek just before the bowling alley begins and started climbing the hill on the opposite bank. And it was Titmus who later on, when he was here, thought there was a little clearing up there where she may have stopped and was watching the men down on the film site, you know, doing their measurements and casting their tracks and things like that. Rennie DeHinden took his famous photo of the film site from that position in 1973?
73 or 74.
Yeah, 73, 74, yeah. Climbed up there and took a picture from it.
We got Thomas Steenburg coming back for the first time in 22 years, 23 years.
2003.
First time you're here, you were with Mr. Rennie DeHinden.
All these trees were only 3 feet tall.
That's insane. 3 feet tall.
Now, after 352, he lost sight of her amongst an island of debris, and he actually shifted his position. He walked right up to that log in 352 and either straddled it or stood on it to finish the footage.
So where is your tin at, potentially?
On the big tree, which I believe is that over there, right there.
Which one? Let's check it out.
Yeah, the big tree.
Let's see if it's still out here.
So that stump was in the film.
Filled with woodpecker holes.
This stump is in the film.
This stump right here?
Stump?
Yeah. Smiley stump has the blue flags all over it.
Yeah.
They don't
Okay.
look smiley anymore.
It's more like frowning.
1, 2, 3, 4. All the stumps are still here to this day. To this day.
Your smiley stump.
Smiley's lost his cheer.
Lost his joy. So this here was a frame of reference to verify that this is the exact site.
Yeah, the stumps and then a lot of the trees, like the laurel and hardy tree is still here. And that big tree is like undeniable in the film. Like you can't miss that.
Yeah.
And where
Is the ladder tree still there?
I think so. I think it's, where is it at? I think it's over here. Unless somebody wants to sell around. Oh, I think it's right here. It's right next to the big tree, I believe.
Oh, this big tree right here?
Yeah.
That is a big tree.
right there, yeah, with all the woodpecker holes in it. I don't see my tin.
Do you see that screw though?
Is it on the back side?
Well, side really, I call it.
So Thomas, when did you put that there? 1983?
1983.
What did it look like back in 1983 right here?
Sort of goer's gray, like the inside of a tin can.
No, I meant like the surrounding, the environment.
A lot thicker than this.
Oh, it's thicker than this?
Yeah, because nothing had been removed.
A lot of this is deadfall that you just
But
you
these
cut
trees
kind
were
of-
small, right? But there was a
Yeah.
lot of underbrush. Everywhere.
So you worked your way back up there?
Pretty cool. I'm gonna start the fun task of 3D scanning now. I'm gonna start back there, work my way up.
Filmed down in Dallas, and the subject of unknown and Bigfoot came up, and the old guy, oh yeah, we developed that famous movie here. We showed it right on the wall. So Bill said, tell me about it. Well, the first guy to show up was was a businessman. He gave us some money under the table. You know, we did things like that back then for other types of movie development. And a week and a half or so later, a little cowboy showed up to have copies made. Well, obviously the businessman was Al Diatley, and the little cowboy was Roger Patterson. So the Ford Motion Picture Lab at 307 Fairview Avenue, southeast of Seattle, Washington, it's now a gymnasium.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
I was there probably last month, I think, a month or two ago, and just trying to get some more information. And so I got a bunch of pictures, and I'm trying to really find somebody that was associated with that group or that Ford motion picture place, like somebody that worked there, friends there, somebody that might have went in there and saw like, oh yeah, I remember that picture up there. I'm like diligently working to try and get evidence to prove, you know, that that it was actually developed there. Because if we can get that evidence there, like proof that that was filmed there or developed there, man, that's huge. That's huge, because we were talking about turnaround time. So the film was done on Friday, right?
Right, Friday the 20th.
Friday. So let's say Roger and Bob drove back to Willow Creek, called up Al Diatley, said, hey buddy, we got it. This is money shot. This is it. And then Al probably paid and probably helped get it to Seattle, which is where, you know, it was developed. And Al, living 3 hours away, 4 hours away from Seattle, drove up there. So this was Saturday. They would have got it, the motion picture place would have got it on Saturday. Takes 12 hours to develop, but they could have rushed it, which could have degraded the film. And so because Al showed up back at his house in
Sunday.
Yeah, on Sunday. On
Sunday night.
Yeah, in Walla Walla or Tri-Cities?
Yakima.
In Yakima. So the time frame actually does work, because there's a lot of people are like, no, they couldn't have had it developed and all that stuff. And no, actually, the timetable does work perfectly. Like, it's like by the seat of your pants, but it's all doable. It's all doable. Like, yeah.
People say that they couldn't have developed the film so fast, and they can't use the Coricon 2 process, can't be done haphazard. Well, yeah, it can. It's just the film deteriorates rather quickly afterwards. So it's a good thing Patterson and them made copies right away. But yeah, they did. It's like I said, this was the 1960s. They took money under the table to have other kinds of movies developed all the time for parties and things like that. Right? If you had influence, you could get it done. If you had money, you can get it done.
Which
Al Diatley had both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So, you know, the timeline does line up. Coming to the area, knowing the story about how Roger and Bob came down here, how Bob had to basically fund the whole trip. Right? And it just doesn't make any sense to pull off a hoax using so much resources and time that they did not have in a place that was so far away when they were in an area that they can easily have pulled it off at. Easy. You know, it's just that there for me seems to add some credibility to it, because, you know, hoaxers want to take the easiest path, you know, usually. And this is no easy path. This is a chore to get to, like a chore. And the fact that they were here for weeks really says a lot as well, because, you know, again, Bob, I think Judy probably gave Bob some crap about taking all that time.
Well, he was under pressure. I said, Bob, yeah. Roger, I got to go home. I got a job. I got responsibilities. Even one point, Roger said, well, can you go home and come back and get me in a week?
Yeah, so that's not the sign of a hoax.
Yeah. And Gimlin wasn't there that first showing at Al Diatley's house. He saw it the following night, because when they got back, he was exhausted because he did all the driving. He paid for all the gas, paid for all the food. And he said, I did all the driving because I didn't like Roger driving my truck, because Roger drove like a nut. Yeah, so.
Wow. I usually don't chalk up tree structures. I'm not a tree structure believer kind of a guy.
Well, look at it this way. Bigfoot is literally the most elusive thing on the planet. Why would it build a structure?
Right here.
Right, yeah, right where we can easily find it. Seems like
a structure that wouldn't keep the weather off a chipmunk.
Yeah, you know, and their strategic vulnerabilities. I think that their shelters are more blend in with nature. Walk right by it, can't see it. Maybe even hollow logs.
You know, Todd Stanley is a big tree structure believer, and I know a few people who are like into the tree structure.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's low-hanging fruit when it comes to evidence, because literally you can go out and have natural fall be considered a tree structure?
Seriously. I mean, somebody right here could be like, you see that tree, how it's falling over? That's a tree structure.
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
Right there, that's a Squatch break. It's just,
They're too primed up and have a confirmation bias, so when they come out here, everything's Bigfoot to them.
I mean, tree structures, you can't, even like tree breaks, I mean, it gets to a point where there's tree breaks that are pretty convincing, you know? Like,
True.
but there's only, like, if there's no axe marks and it's bent over, it's either one of a few things, you know? A bear has so much power they could break a branch pretty easy.
Oh yeah, that's what me and Tristan came across back up off Green Mountain.
I saw an interesting tree break off the Go Road, and there was like a 3-foot drop with a 2-foot distance between the road and the tree. And it was at least pretty high up. It was about this thick or thicker than this stick that I'm carrying.
Yeah.
So like either a Squatch or a bear did that, or somebody tied a rope to a truck and yanked it over and broke it.
Yeah, it looks like there's a trail that goes right up through here.
Pretty easy trail.
Crossing Bluff Creek, just like Roger and Bob.
I should have went in here the first time. My feet stayed dry. Oh, there we go. There's some water in there. Ooh, that's cold. I swear it is refreshing though. It feels good.
It is actually. Probably. As we climb out of Bluff Creek, I think of Thomas. In a field loud with rumors, his compass is integrity, unaltered by fashion, weathered by decades, still pointing true north. He returns not for applause, but to keep the question honest, to let the land speak, to test wonder with discipline, to carry doubt like a tool, not a wound. If the tall ones move at the margins of our world, it is men like Thomas who keep the doorway clear. This is his quiet legacy, a trail maintained, a standard held, a mystery preserved from corrosion, so the next pilgrim finds the path.